everyone had a chance to review the minutes from July 21st? If so, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
I'll second.
We have a motion and acceptance. I believe I need to go around for each council member from here on and
No,
ask.
that's only if we're Zoom.
That's only if we're zooming, okay, so we can just ask for, all in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, minutes approved. All right, we have, Sheriff. You're up.
Evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
As of earlier today, we have 71 inmates in jail. 28 are pretrial superior, 17 are pretrial circuit, 12 are F6, and 10 are DOC. Provided you with the monthly report for July. Nothing out of the ordinary activity-wise. Inmate bookings are up, obviously, compared to this time last year. As far as generated income so far this year, one thing that is not noted on here, Lisa McCormick advised me today that we have got our portion of the F6 funds deposited through the auditor's office or wherever that goes. I think that's 200 and, what did we say, 252,000
I think so.
is our portion, which last year, if you look in August of last year, well, the 263 reflects other DOC payments that are not F6 related, so it's right around the 252 mark. So that is not on there, but is now in our funds. So the only other things I have, was there any questions? I usually do you discuss transfers before all this?
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Okay, did anybody have any questions on my transfer?
Let me take a look here.
Don't forget about your commissary.
I will. Not forget. If you remember a year or so ago, I tried to get a part-time IT person for our agency. We were successful and we created that position. We created a fund for it. We hired Dave Teeple, who was full-time at the county a long time ago. He was working part-time for us, and then the unfortunate death of the gentleman that worked in IT, and then Dave was offered the full-time position back with the county. In that process, and this was going to be explained a little bit in budget hearings, but we have worked out. Dave was very knowledgeable about our stuff, David Teeple, and so he still comes to the jail on Mondays and Thursdays and works till noon, and then the rest of his time is spent at the courthouse. We did that temporarily to see how that worked before we decided to hire somebody else in that position. It has worked tremendously well for our agency. And so I have not asked for that position to be filled in next year's budget. But there was some monies that were needed within this year's budget, one being overtime and the other one when budget time. Between budget time and my contracted salary, there was a difference in there, and that transfer was to cover the shortage in that. So that was agreed upon on the contract. So
Your
there's
contract for this year. Your contract
That's for this year.
This year.
Yeah, we would be short in that line item this year
Yeah.
because of what was approved before the contract was approved, so.
Hey, one real quick question. You'd sent over after our last meeting something to do with the commissary.
Yep, I'll cover that
Yeah.
right after,
Oh, okay.
right after this, as long as nobody got any questions about the
Yeah,
transfer.
We'll
No,
come
we're
back to
good.
the other transfers after we talk about.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yep. The other thing I wanted to, it's on the agenda, I'm required by statute to report our commissary spending twice a year to the fiscal body. That was, we reported in January. I did not bring that to the July meeting. I think I realized that the day after, so I sent that to all you guys right after the last meeting. I just wanted it noted in this meeting for the minutes and reflected that that was turned in to you guys and to the auditor so that that obligation was fulfilled, so.
Is that money held with our auditor,
Nope.
treasurer?
No.
That's through you?
Yeah, we have it as one of our bank accounts.
It's in the jail part of it. Or is it?
It's its own account. Yeah, we have an
Okay.
inmate trust account, which is their monies, Then we have commissary account through local bank here in town. So all that money is receipted through and into that
Is
expense.
it jail, or does it go under the jail, or is it under?
Yeah, it's under ours, but it's specifically a commissary expense, yep, which we can, by statute, spend it on certain things throughout the
We were
facility.
talking about, I guess, when
Yeah,
everything-
yeah.
Yeah,
That's the reason I was
I think looking through that, I looked through it last month, but we did pay off that nice transport van that we bought when I first became sheriff. That's paid off now, and that was all paid for out of commissary. We replaced the detective cars last year, outside of the budget. That was all paid for out of commissary. I think we pay for a lot of all our cell phone usage for all our employees that have cell phones is all paid for out of there. And then you see a lot of deposits that are generated through our commissary and through certain things that generate income, like video visitations, the texting stuff that the inmates can subscribe to, and those type of things. So there's phone calls that we generate income on. Those are a lot of the things that are, each month you see deposits that are put in for those, so. But it's definitely helps offset the cost of things that we want to be able to do, but also the transparency of showing the fiscal body what that money's being spent on, so. And if you see pizza on there, that's not pizza for us, that's pizza for the inmates.
I wouldn't have said anything if you were doing that. You
Yeah.
you guys work
Yeah.
hard.
It's an incentive program we have
$700, but
for minimum security
Slide the
inmates.
shanks into the.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So, we allow them to order pizza.
it's not mozzarella cheese anymore.
No.
Yeah.
We allow them to order pizza once a month as a reward for minimum security for being good behavior and those type of things, and so they like that. So as long as it's noted that that was turned into you guys, I'd appreciate that. Also, I reported, I believe the last time, that we were losing the fee funds for firearms handgun permits. Well, we learned in the House bill that was passed that we actually are going to get reimbursed for it.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I asked Lisa, she did the necessary, went online and registered us. They wanted to know what we made, which I think this is a good thing. They wanted the generated income from handgun permits from last year, which was one of
Oh,
the
that's a
best
good year.
years.
Right.
That's a good year to do it.
Because it was an election year,
Yeah.
and that's usually your top year, so I don't know how and when we're gonna get reimbursed for it, so, but they have some monies budgeted, but I think if you add up all the counties in the state and what they generated, what they did budget isn't enough, but in the bill, it states that they are gonna pay for the shortage out of their general fund, so.
Generally speaking, how much was that?
Was it 14,000,
That's what I had.
12 to 14,000?
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere right in there, $13,000 range, which is why we never asked for ammo money.
Yeah.
You know, we buy our vests out of there and all the other things, so, so that is a good thing, to at least, because we're still having our staff that has to process those permits and everything else, so that is some good news that I found out.
Can you get ammo?
Huh?
Can you get ammo?
We can, but it takes a while, yeah, just like anybody else, so there is a shortage of ammo. They did start up, Remington went bankrupt, which was the biggest ammo dealer, and that has been since split up and purchased by other people, and they are firing those plants back up, so hopefully that won't last super long. We need ammo, obviously, more for training than for anything else, but we do like to replace our duty ammo, usually yearly, if not every 2 years, so to get that through. Other than that, just an update on the jail renovation stuff. We've been meeting almost every day, having meetings, finalizing. Elevatus is finalizing. Their goal is to have all their architectural drawings and everything done by the end of this month. I believe all the contracts are done. The general contractor was out today. Some of the jail suppliers for doors and locks, and they're getting down in the nitty-gritty of all the fine details. It was a lot easier when it was a conceptual drawing, and now they want to know how many drawers you want, how many locks you want on drawers, and yeah, so we've been having a lot of meetings. We're meeting again tomorrow with the SAS, which does all our security cameras and those type of things, because a lot of that stuff will have to be figured out for the new intake area. So things are rolling on that. They want to get things going as fast as they can. They know that there's a lot of things that they want to get ordered and going now because of the lead times it's taking to get a lot of the stuff. So hopefully we'll get a lot of that finalized here in the next 30 days, and we'll be moving forward with that. So, other than that, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, any more
Thank you,
questions?
Sheriff. Do we,
Yeah.
the additions, do we need transfers? Just do them all at the end?
We're gonna do the rest of the transfers here, and then we'll do additionals.
Okay, sounds good.
Two
Right.
Also, with that being said, Jimmy Robbins has resigned from our department, and he's decided to get out of the career of law enforcement. So we wish him the best of luck, and we will be hiring a deputy. If it wasn't put on social media today, it'll be on there tomorrow, so.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yep,
Yeah, wish you the best.
Yeah.
yep, thank you.
Scott?
Thanks, Scott.
Okay, on the transfers, you heard from the sheriff, prosecutor I didn't require him to be here for a $40 transfer. Area plan, does anybody have any questions on the rest of these transfers? Anybody has a copy of transfers? Yeah, area plan, we have from the health department, and then the highway administration. No questions on the transfers, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, passed, 6-0. Let's take care of the transfers. Okay, then we have some additional appropriations. Okay. We'll go through these. Okay, extension service, asking for 1,000. Temporary help. Maybe we just go through these. If anybody has any questions, bring those up. I think a lot of them are straightforward. We have Blake here from Community Corrections. Judges here for jury pay. And Lisa's asking for all the money.
I have a question in regards to Blake. Again, these additional appropriations is because we're going to a calendar year.
Last year in budgets, we picked up the cost of living for the county, cost of living out of project income. And this year, the DOC did a 6-month first half contract with an extension they did in June for the second half of the calendar year. Now, we just completed the grant. It was submitted a month ago, and we should be on track for 2022, that everything will be done with the signatures and everything on the contract before you guys do your final adoption of the 22 county budget. So everything's now in parallel and going in the same timeline forward.
So starting in 2022, January, it will
We should
all
already
be
have
the
the
same.
signed contract with the state, and it's all in place, and we shouldn't have to worry, because last year, or this year, sorry, we didn't get the signed contract and final numbers till the mid-January point. And they're telling us right now that we should have that hopefully by October, November. Then that way we can give it to Lisa, and Lisa can set up the fund items as per the contract.
So this additional appropriation reflects the difference of where we were last year.
It's for the second half of this year's cost of living we absorbed
Cost of
in
living.
county budgets
Okay.
last summer. Hopefully we won't have you with the 6-month stuff that's driving those bonkers days.
Anybody have more questions for Blake on that? And then we have, Judge, you're requesting some jury pay increases. Looks like we're not where we need to be. Yeah, please step forward.
Sounds good, thank you.
Evening.
The, long time ago, when I first inherited, me and Judge inherited previous budget, and the courts, I believe, had their own budget for jury pay, to pay the jury expenses out of. and specifically pay. That's the largest part of it. We just kind of discovered, I think, when Beth Davis was the auditor, kind of discovered there's a fund. We started using, and when a person files a new lawsuit or a court cost, there's a portion of that. It's very small, maybe it's not much, maybe a couple of dollars of a filing fee. It's very small, but it goes into that fund. It pays for jury costs. And it accumulated, so rather than putting it in our budget, we just started using the money out of that budget, and slowly it's gone down. So we stopped putting it in our regular courts budgets, Superior and Circuit Court, stopped putting it in our budgets and just use that fund. This year, we've reached that point where we've drained it, and we're using the money faster than it's coming in. And so how we intend to remedy it going forward is to start putting some money back into our budgets each year for jury funds. But in the short term, right now, we have a deficit for this year of, I think right now we're in a deficit of, we've spent approximately $4,000 this year in jury trials. Plus, in July, we had another trial, we spent $823, so that's the deficit right now, is $823. And we have, between Circuit Court and Superior Court, we have approximately 20 more trials scheduled. Doesn't mean they'll happen, but we have them scheduled right now.
Do you think this will get you through the end of the year?
Is that enough?
I think it will. I mean, historically, done 3 this year. We're in August. So, COVID, a big cost up in March, the trial we did in March. We brought in a larger pool than we would normally, just for COVID-related issues, just to make sure we had enough people. So we had a larger pool than we normally would. So that's part of the cost. That was just an abnormal cost for that year, for that trial. So I think barring some trial that takes a longer period of time, number of days, we normally more than 2 or 3 days, we don't do something special as far as.
What are those stipends that you get to a jury?
If they show up, for the pool, if they get, well, I mean to show up, if they come in, if they get summoned in,
Yeah.
I believe they get $15 or $18, I think, and then if they
They're on the
are
jury.
picked for the jury,
Yeah.
they get an additional 15 per day, I think, or 20 per day after that. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, so it doesn't pay real well to get on a jury, does it?
No.
That's why, that's why they don't give you an option.
And they get mileage. They get some mileage reimbursement.
Okay.
So that's, they're not, no one's getting rich off of it.
Exactly.
It is something to compensate them a little bit for their time and a little bit of expenses.
Lunch.
Yeah, you gotta buy the lunch,
Yeah.
but, yeah, so, I think the 7,000 would get us through, if we wanna just kind of, if you wanna think it's more appropriate to, let's, do half of that and come back in a few months if we need it, and come back then for additional appropriation, I certainly can entertain that as well. It's really up to
Well,
you.
if that doesn't get consumed.
You can carry over to next year or whatever, or we can.
Yeah, we'll go back to the general fund.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine
In
with
your
that.
jury, yeah.
Jury fund.
Yeah,
Jury
in
fund.
your
I see
jury
no
fund.
reason to do this twice.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't either.
And since it's either there, it's either going to use or it doesn't, so.
Okay.
Any other questions for?
Nope.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And then I think a big one is our coronavirus local fiscal, and I think you might have to help us understand that.
Yeah, that was gonna be
It's got
you.
more complicated.
The initial payment for Amoresco for the jail renovation is $750,000, and that's to be paid in August. So that's why this got appropriated. But, in talking with you can't spend it out of this fund unless you have an itemized billing with related ARPA expenditures on it. So we can't use this for what it was intended for. So you can deny it, you can approve it, and then if we do get a itemized billing, we could spend this on it. It's totally up to you. We're gonna use the State Road 301 relinquishment funds, which I'll present that next month. to pay those expenditures out of, which will get repaid when we're bonded.
Until we get some invoices that have qualified expenses to pay out of the ARP funds.
Which normally schedules a value, are they doing schedule a value with you on what, it's just lump sum bills, is that how it works?
Well, they were,
I-
these
I've
last
had-
month, they were gonna provide.
Usually it's a
schedule
breakout
of-
schedule of values too.
I've
when you
attached-
Start a project.
I attached,
But I think what
But
she's
they're not
saying is
in-
they
it's not
haven't
an
broken out
invoice.
what qualifies for ARPA and what doesn't in that
Right.
invoicing.
it's on here, it just has 750,000 for the 10% mobilization,
Yeah, they're moving.
and then 100,000 for lighting, water, roof, and AE fees. So it doesn't have the correct,
So that's why you can't use,
Yes.
because it's not breaking it.
Yes.
It's not broken down
Yes.
accurately.
so,
Well, that road
You
money, is
can-
it just park, is it sitting there? I mean, we've never really seen a lot of it. I know when the state. took
Nate
it, it's-
has some things that are gonna come out, so it'll have to be repaid after
Because,
the
yeah,
bonding.
So we're just moving some money around until we
Yes.
get the amount needed, or the,
Correct.
it itemized correctly. Okay.
And we're keeping a running total of it, right? So we're taking out this thing. I mean,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
what pays for a road. I mean, eventually you're gonna.
You're gonna have to put it
you gotta
back in.
Maintain a road.
Mhm.
We don't want to get caught. That's my opinion on that.
Mhm.
So, up to you.
Sounds like we don't have any choice, do we?
I was gonna say, because money's owed.
We're gonna pay it.
Well, whether
Yeah.
you wanna approve the ARP 750,
Yeah.
But then you can't use it unless it's itemized, right?
right.
So then it's.
So it'll only come out of that if we get the correct invoices,
Correct.
Mhm.
which I think we've all in principle said that we want to use
We
some
want-
of those monies anyhow,
Right.
up to a number way bigger than this.
Is it more complicated for you one way or the other?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just have to appropriate it again, and I don't know if it'll be this year.
But obviously they want them, they need paid.
Right, right, they're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
The State Road 301 funds are coming through next month.
Which is what you intend to use to fulfill that. So we're just saying that that 750 will eventually come out of that, the ARP fund, is that what we're saying? By appropriating this?
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly.
Depends on if we get the
We're
invoice.
trying to get it into the right line. And then it would be
Right.
on the right, and if it's not used,
It'll just go right back in there.
right back. So
Right back.
at this stage,
It doesn't, right.
you got yourself covered as long as they give itemized billings. But if they don't, then we still have to, we'd have to revert to the 301, which you're planning on doing anyways, right?
Correct.
For-
Mhm.
Well, eventually the focus buildings. So
Yeah.
then would that first 750 be appropriated towards that project?
Yes.
Is that
Mhm.
what we're saying? So I'd be in favor of, we're gonna use it anyhow. so-
Right.
Yeah,
Need to do
I'm
it.
leaning that way too.
Yeah,
So
need to do it.
I'll entertain a motion for all of the, unless anybody has any more questions on any of these appropriations, to take these as one motion.
So moved.
Motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Yes, motion and second. Any further discussion?
Mm-mm.
Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, we have 7. Okay. Y'all are welcome to stick around.
Yeah, if you want to.
If
If
not,
you wanna leave.
you're welcome to enjoy the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Yeah.
Thanks, Judge.
Okay, next, Beth.
How you doing?
Just went through a whole big budget.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
We don't want
Oh, no. Different
Seems
capacity.
weird coming back.
them. Yeah.
School.
Okay,
Yes.
I've got some maps here for you. I'm here about redistricting.
I was hoping it was
You now
20
wondering why,
minutes.
you now wondering why you're back into this?
I made an adjustment to it.
I'm only part-time.
It
It's
was
probably
like-
harder because
2013.
sometimes
I
it-
know, time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like it should be that
No, we had.
far back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Okay. As you can see, this is currently what our county council districts are. And each year following a census update, which last year was a census. And since COVID isn't complete yet, the legislators will be coming back in September, I believe, to redraw House district lines. And until we get those lines, we won't do any kind of redistricting or re-precincting or anything until we finally get that information. But I did go to the county commissioners and gave them, the map showing what their districts was, and then coming to you to show you what your current districts are for your county council. And like I said, the last update we had was in 2013. But this year, 2021, would be the year that we would be doing any redistricting following the census from last year. The numbers I have circled is the amount of registered voters that we have in those districts. Okay, that's registered voters. I believe the
That's the
numbers.
circle number?
That's the circle number. The numbers that's underneath the districts, this amount come from area plan, so I'm assuming that is the amount of residents that's in those districts. So you can see it kind of varies, a little bit.
I think the last time we did it, we went by population,
Mhm,
not necessarily registered
And,
voters.
yeah, absolutely, because people can register, that's not
Right.
registered at the current time, so to go by population. So just to give you those two numbers, and like I said, the last time we did it in 2013, we're pretty good on population, if you look at what your districts are right now. Just letting you know that this is a year to do that, if you're interested. And if it's something you want to say, yes, today I want to do it, or no, come back in a couple months, I'll be glad to do that, and, give you a chance to look at it to see if that's something you want to do, or if you know that there's no changes to
So-
do, then I won't be back.
Beth, these are current populations in this?
Probably from the last census that they did, which would have been prior to 2010, so it would have been 2000. So I'm assuming that, but I don't know, I didn't put those numbers
So
on
we'll
there.
get a new set of
So we'll get
numbers.
soon, that's
Yep.
exactly what I was gonna
Yep.
say too. It's hard to know what to do
Absolutely.
until we know
Yep.
how
Yeah,
population
exactly.
shifted.
Yeah.
Yep, and I
So, yeah.
don't know if population is, but I'm sure there's
I
some
bet this had to be
shifting.
2010, because.
It had to been.
2013, it was out of WAP in 2013.
Mhm. We made some
Yeah.
changes
We made
then.
those changes
Mhm.
and got it as
Yeah.
close as we could
Yeah, for
without,
population.
without
Mhm.
messing up precinct area
Yeah.
lines.
And we will, like I said, we will get new numbers,
Yeah.
but it'll probably be sometime in September that, what we're looking at, I assuming, is what
Mhm.
we're assuming. So the thing is, with everything getting delayed, just let you know, if we do make changes, we have to do it at the very last minute
So
this year.
you'll come back and bring us the updated numbers?
The new numbers?
So
Yep.
when you do that, can you put county road numbers on these maps for us?
These maps come from area plan.
Okay.
They pretty much represent your township. Yeah, the
Yeah.
precinct town,
Yeah,
your
we can't,
precinct is what we did.
we can't split precincts.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
what these are. These are
Okay.
with precincts, so we
'Cause-
can't split precincts and, but we can split, or townships unless it's a necessary thing. It's saying, they don't want you to do any switching, because you can see that
So
we
your
do
precinct
have,
lines, like
yeah.
where
So
your
did the
district.
precinct line change then?
Well,
What
you
would
know-
change to change the count, if you can't change the precinct,
well, that's,
townships, how do you
exactly.
change this?
We could just
Well,
shift
but one
precincts in and
precinct
out.
might-
The
You could
whole-
shift
the whole
precincts
thing
in and
has to
out.
go somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Got it.
example, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
District 2 that you're in, you originally were all of Lancaster. And then because the number was off, because the numbers didn't jive,
Yeah.
you came up into what we call Jefferson East
Yeah.
and took that area, and then I moved over. I used to have all of that, and I had a lot of population versus the other part of the county, the other districts. So by doing that, but we still followed the precinct lines, so that's why
Yeah, we
Austin
can't,
East.
yeah, we
So
can't
what-
Split a
split
precinct, but you
Yeah.
can split a township is what
You,
happened
you
here.
can, but
Yeah.
they prefer you not to do it.
But we had, that was
Yeah.
the easiest way to
Yeah.
make it look
Mhm.
kind of a
Yeah.
conform.
So probably what we need to know is just not the new population numbers on here, but the populations for the townships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that way, if we have to move a township around, it'd be nice to know
You have to have a little more detail.
what would that look like. So if we could have that,
Yep, absolutely.
Might be
I'll bring you
beneficial.
As soon as I get the numbers.
That'd be
but
great.
It'll probably be, October,
Sure.
November-ish, something like that,
And then
maybe
this
even
has to be
November.
decided by when?
We have to do it by the end of the year.
End of the year.
Yep,
So
so
we'll have
it
to
has to
move
be
quickly.
before everybody registers for
Mm-hmm.
candidacy. which is the first, first part of January, the first.
And Beth, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the state always asks to try to get within 10%.
There's
Parity.
Yeah, there's a percentage.
Well, the statute for the county council says to have for population, to have it as near to population as possible. I don't even know if it has a percentage.
Okay.
I don't know, because Roy just had that up.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
something.
I thought that's what we tried to do last time, was within 10%, but.
That would make
That'd
sense.
be nice to
Yeah.
know as we go through it, in case we have to. use
Yeah,
it.
Rockford Township totally met in District One.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
To bring that
yeah.
number.
You had to get
Yeah,
these
because District
numbers.
1 is, we brought Rock Creek in it just because it was
Yeah.
such low population.
So you'll have
but-
the populations per township.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
And in
Which
each
I
district.
have that now, but we might as well just wait until the new numbers come in.
That'd be
But I
good.
just wanted to come before you now, so you can just have that in your mind, that,
Okay.
and there's case or something that you're wanting to look at changing. Okay, but we do have to follow
Yeah.
township lines.
Yeah, just as soon as we can get that.
Precinct.
person
Yep,
Yep,
that'd be great.
okay,
right.
thank you.
Thanks, Beth.
If you have any questions along the way, just give me a call. All right.
Okay, next on the, is reviewing the estimated property tax levy limits and circuit breakers for each taxing year.
Per statute, the county council at the first meeting in August shall review the estimated property tax levy limits and the estimated reductions due to circuit breakers for each taxing unit in the county. And then you can make recommendations, or you can state there's no recommendations, and then I distribute the minutes to all the taxing units, telling them your wishes.
Do you want to walk us through this, Beth, or
Lisa?
Lisa? Let's talk about
Is
it.
this based upon their 2022 budgets requests?
This is
It is, right?
The
For
levy-
budget year 20, yeah, for the
Yes.
maximum levy for
Yes.
2020.
Yes.
So next year's budget's what they're.
yes, this
Yeah.
is for 2022.
2022.
Just to make sure.
All the budgets grew 4.3%. Like if you look at Wells County, our 2022 maximum levy prior to allowable adjustments is 4 million. And then it adds on the mental health and the developmental disabilities. We're allowed to pay $605,000, but we only pay $41,280, so that comes off of there. And then that brings our estimated levy to $4,259,649, and then the CUME Capital Development Fund gets added onto that. So our max levy is $4,540,744. The other ones are more straightforward. Chester Township, $11,794.
Where'd you come up with 4,500,000 for this? Is it 4.5 million, you said?
Yes. The developmental disabilities adjustment has 605,000,
Yeah, the 214.
and ours is $41,280.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it gets reduced, and then the cap
Gotcha.
cum
Gotcha.
funds
Yeah.
added in.
Yep. But the tax caps, like Wells County, is $14,350. That's divided amongst the county, the health department, reassessment, and 4-H.
And you said you added the CUME fund, which was, what was that, to get in?
$281,095.
And that's,
And we haven't based anything on that yet.
but that's the
But
max.
that's what we're allowed
That's the
to.
max.
That's what
Yeah.
we go to.
That's the most we could do.
Yes.
Okay.
And I
But we
did,
haven't decided that yet.
correct, but I did talk to George, our DLGF rep, and he said if we don't take the .0167, then the second year you can't. He said it's never been tested, but that'll be what you're held to.
Oh, okay.
That's your max.
So it
Yeah.
hurts you then the following year.
Yes.
Don't-
Okay. All right.
since we decided to use that,
Right.
most likely, it's be created or has been created.
Keep it.
Keep that going. So, just reviewing this, we just simply need a motion that we review.
You reviewed
Just to leave it.
And if you don't have any recommendations, then you just motion that you have no recommendations to be made.
Because these are non-binding
Right.
at this point. I mean, it's just a recommendations. all.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
We just need to make note of the motion that we reviewed.
Mhm.
So at this point, I would say, entertain a motion that we reviewed.
I'll make a motion that we review the local tax rates. That's
Okay,
estimated maximum levy.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, we have 7-0 vetoes.
Should we also include no recommendations?
Yes.
I'm sorry, no recommendations.
Okay.
with everybody?
Yep.
Just to correct, there's no recommendations.
Lisa, Chester Township isn't on here.
Chester?
On this one.
Oh,
Do they not have any tax
The
caps?
property tax cap impact report, maybe
Oh,
they're just
isn't-
not impacted is all. Maybe there are just no changes to them.
Am I not seeing something?
You have Chester, you said Chester?
Chester
this
and...
one right here.
Yeah,
it
Chester.
would be impacted by Southern World School.
Here. Am I missing it?
I don't have it either. so.
I don't have it on mine.
Yeah, mine doesn't say Chester. on it.
Does it
Does
show-
yours have Chester on it?
Mine does.
Do you want to just email us a copy of yours then?
Are we missing it?
I
Yeah, we're
don't know
missing
what's
Chester.
going on. Is Wells on there?
Not on this one.
Wells...
Yeah, Wilson
is-
County Solid.
No,
Or-
not the county. Not the county.
Who knows what happened?
Oh, you know what? I think we're missing the whole
We're
first
missing the
page.
first page is
Yeah,
what
we're
the
missing the
thing
first
is.
page.
Show
Okay.
Jefferson Township.
So, yeah, we're missing Wells County, Chester, Harrison, Jackson, and Jefferson.
Did it get mixed in with your other one?
The other half.
I didn't see it when I leafed through the others. Let me just,
This is just the tax cap.
Yeah, it's just the task cap.
yeah, it's not, how about if
impact.
Lisa just emails that out? Is that fine?
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Just so that you have,
Not gonna
the first page is missing.
I think I did email them to you, actually.
Oh,
I
if
was
you
gonna
did, then
say,
I got 'em. Let me
it's-
see.
You can go online and get them. I shouldn't say that, I just was dealing with this.
Okay.
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 We'll have that sent if it hasn't already been sent. We have one library board appointment. They should have an application. For Dustin Brown. This is the, how long is that term?
4 years.
This is the one term, and this is, we do this once every 4 years for that, or do we have more than one library appointment?
You have 2 library appointments.
But this is just one of the terms.
This is just one, and he is a current.
This is the current. Unless there's any discussion to not approve this, I'll entertain a motion to reapprove or approve this application for Dustin.
Motion to reapprove Dustin's
Okay, we have a
application.
motion. Do I hear a
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? And is that all approved? Any other miscellaneous business?
Yes. I don't know if you want to talk about that or not.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah. enough information. Anything from the audience? I'd like to bring up?
They all left, yeah.
The audience.
Leah.
Time to go watch the Olympics.
There you go. All right. Anybody from council have anything to add?
Sorry I'm late. I was working on a budget for, we got a meeting there too, so I'm sorry.
Just real quick, do we, back to the minutes? Okay, executive session was mentioned. Okay. Just,
All right. I'll hear a motion to
Session then?
adjourn.
Second.
Motion,
Second.
second. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.